Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining the stream. We will begin in just a few minutes, so go grab some water, a snack, perhaps an iPad for some notes, and we'll be starting soon. Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining the stream. We're just letting a few more people get on Facebook and YouTube, and we're going to start in a few minutes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Mind Your Business session. My name is Kim, and it's great to see you all out there on YouTube and Facebook. We at Creative Pinellas know that for artists, creativity is at the heart of everything that you do, and turning that creativity into a sustainable career takes strategy and business savvy. And that is why we created the Mind Your Business professional development series to equip you with the essential skills to thrive. This free Mind Your Business series is made possible by the generous support of our sponsors, and we want to take a moment to thank the Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners, Visit St. Pete Clearwater, the Florida Division of Arts and Culture, and the American Rescue Plan Act. Today's topic is social media for artists, strategies for growth and engagement, one of the most powerful tools for artists right now. And we have the perfect expert to show you how to master it. Ketsy Ruiz is a multifaceted creative professional whose skills are aligned for today's topic. She specializes in the core elements of a power for social media presence, strategic branding, compelling content creation, copywriting, dynamic short film video editing, and eye catching visual communications. She is the mind behind so much of the engaging digital content you see here from Creative Pinellas, where she excels at storytelling and building communities online. As an artist herself, she lives and breathes this work. You can see her expertise on her own social media, and I highly recommend you follow her at Sketsy to see a fantastic example of how a creative professional can build a vibrant online brand. So please feel free to drop your questions in the chat. As Ketsy leads this session, we'll be doing Q&A at around about 7 p.m. So let's get ready to level up our social media, and let's give a huge welcome to Ketsy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I am guessing that you guys are here to learn about social media. And today we're going to go over the big picture of social media. I am still jamming out to this music. Over here. We are going to look over an overview of it because it can get nitty gritty. If we go into all the details, we could be here for hours. I'm so glad you're with us tonight on this stream. Thank you. And I have a very unpopular opinion about social media, and that is that I love it. And I know that a lot of people dislike it, but hopefully by the end of this workshop, you'll be able to have the tools, the know how to use social media as an amazing tool itself instead of it using you. So, we're going to get right into it. What is your reason for more visibility? Basically, what is your why? Why are you here? Why are you here to learn? What is the reason that you want to be more visible on a social media platform? And we have all different examples of this. Do you want to sell more art? Do you want to sell more tickets to a performance? Do you want to receive more passive income? Do you want to find galleries and curators? Do you want them to find you and find your work more easily? Do you want to be on the top of mind for recommendations for a certain genre? So, are you a visual artist? Are you a poet, a writer, a performer? How do you get into that genre and find your community online? Do you want to find out about grants? Who doesn't want to find out about grants? Do you want to learn about different resources that are online for you? Do you want to find out about more opportunities? Who doesn't want to find out about more opportunities as a creative? The name of this workshop is Mind Your Business. So, we will be talking about using our creative entities as businesses and to be thinking like businesses. And then you could also want to do all of these things. All of these things can be part of your pillars in your strategic strategy. And I just used two big words, strategic strategy. And we're going to talk about that later on. So, to reach this purpose, your why, you should know these three things. If you learn or know this thing, then you might get this result. So, what social media really is. And this is the big overview. And it's, I think, one of the funniest things I like to tell people. Um, the word social and the word media. We think of it nowadays as an entity. It is just this thing that we talk about. We know that there are platforms for these things. But let's break down those words. Combining being social, you must be social. I know. You must be social and having media content. Media content is a bunch of different things that can be text and copy, written word, videos, pictures. That is what your media content is. So, this is having clarity of what socializing you're going to do, what kind of socializing, there's all different kinds of socializing on social media, and then what kind of media content are you going to make. With both of those things combined, you will get a deeper understanding of the algorithm prioritization. And I know algorithm is a yucky word. We hate the word algorithm, but we're also going to go through with what that means so that you know what to act with. Also, that social media can be a business. Yes, it can. It's actually set up nowadays to be a business. Initially, social media was just to keep your friends and family and colleagues in touch with what it is that you are doing. And it is now a full blown business. And it can be a business for a potentially large audience or a very niche audience, a very community driven audience, but it is not just for family and friends. And we're going to stress why that is not the goal. And then, because of this, you will have dedication to tools you otherwise would not use to reach new people. I think part of the goals that a lot of us have is how do we get more people to see us, or how do we reach more people? And so we're going to talk about those tools today. And it's okay to play with your strategic plan. You have to have a plan in place, just like you have to have a business model, a business plan in place for your business. You're going to have a strategic plan for social media, and it doesn't always have to stay the same. In fact, I can guarantee you that it is not going to stay the same because things change all the time on socials. And then you'll get this insights and data if you're doing well, insights and data to make you probably want to shift your plan or to find more opportunities for growth. So, what social media really is, we kind of touched on this. You have to be social with media. So, social media are different platforms used primarily through mobile device apps. That's a phone and a tablet. That is how they were built. Social media apps were built to be mobile so that you can be on the go. That doesn't mean that's how you have to plan your strategic plan. Now, there are some apps that do well on a desktop, Facebook being one of those. But for instance, on Instagram, there's very limited capabilities as to what you can do and what kind of content you can produce on a desktop. There's a lot more things you can do within the app itself. And in fact, Instagram and TikTok prioritizes you to use the app. You will get higher on the algorithm just for doing that alone. You have to be social using media content to be successful at this. Now, social doesn't mean you have to show your face. Social doesn't mean you have to be talking at all times of the day, every day. Again, we're coming up with a plan that fits your schedule, fits your lifestyle, your needs, your wants, your purpose. And that is how you're going to be successful at this. But you do need to talk to other people or accounts. So people accounts should be talking to one another. That is what is prioritized. So you have to be engaging with the other accounts via posts, DMs, shares, what have you. There are different types of posts, like I said, and different ways that you can communicate with other accounts. But if you are just posting and you're leaving it alone, or you're just posting and you are liking other people's comments, we're not going to get anywhere because guess what? You're not socializing that much. Hate to say it. So, there are different types of content that are prioritized on each platform, and you need to know them by each platform. This is another one of those stickler things where it's like, oh, I can't just post the same things in the same ways on each platform. They all prioritize things differently. And just to give you an example, this presentation was built maybe a month ago. I had to update it today because yesterday Instagram changed something in prioritization of interactions on the algorithm. In fact, Instagram launched 6 new tools just last week. So already those things have changed. So what you see here in this table isn't necessarily what's going to be prioritized for tomorrow, next week, or a month from now. And I am going to share the different ways that you can find out when these things change. So we have some examples here on the left-hand side of which platforms are typically mostly used by artists and creatives, because that's who we are. So it is TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And a lot of people don't consider LinkedIn a social media app, and it is. LinkedIn is social media, and it can be utilized in a very specific way. I just thought I'd throw that in there because a lot of people don't consider that one. So on TikTok, what are the types of content that are prioritized? I think everyone knows that have seen a TikTok video. It's short form video. Videos are the way to get ahead on TikTok. It's going to be that content mostly. And you also have to post several times a day in order to build a new account with a new algorithm. So it's a very labor intensive app to share content on. But if you have the means to do it and a strategic plan, you can do it too. The types of interactions that are prioritized are shares and reposts. So that is, if you have more shares and you have more reposts, more people are going to see your content, and that is what's going to get prioritized on the algorithm. It will move faster through the algorithm. It'll be shown to more people on the algorithm. On YouTube, it's long form video. YouTube also has clips, which are really great, and that's the short form version of your long form video. On YouTube, it is views and subscriptions that get you higher up on the playing field in the algorithm. On Instagram, it's short form video known as Reels. And what gets you the highest prioritization, like I said, it just changed yesterday, are shares and reposts. Reposts just got made available last week because they're trying to compete with TikTok right now. On Facebook, it's posts, just regular type of posts. They can be posts with carousels, it can be posts with photos, it can be just a text post with the link. And the way that you get your interaction prioritized on there is through private messaging, comments, and reposts. And then on LinkedIn, posts with content beyond words alone. So that means that there's an article attached to it, there's a type of media attached to it. Videos are actually becoming big on LinkedIn right now, too. And the same type of interaction is prioritized private messaging and reposting. So pictures. I wanted to show you one example of what the algorithm is prioritizing. And I hope that this helps a lot and not just saying words like algorithm. This one's based off of Instagram. I'm using Instagram as an example, mostly because that is where most creators and artists spend their time. So, as you can see here on the left-hand side, we have a chart that says, and this actually got posted today, so I even updated this one not too long ago. If you want to grow on Instagram in 2025, optimize your posts for shares and reposts. So we have here a pyramid, and on the top, you can see the best way to get engagement. Engagement means people are engaging with you. That could be through follows, that could be through visiting your profile, that could be through sharing to the stories, all of those different types of things. So reaching new people is where shares come in. Most of the time, people are sharing through DMs, right? I know you guys have your group chat with your friends. And so if someone's taking your content and sending it through that group chat, then Instagram says, oh my gosh, there's 3 people in this group chat who really like this content. They're talking about it. Let me make sure that the originator of that content gets more views. We're sending it out to 3 more people. There's your algorithm. It's just math, you guys. It really is. I know we wish it was based on how awesome our content is or our work is, but unfortunately, math is involved. You can also do reposts to reach new people and then to engage in your existing followers, which I feel like is most important. I don't think that follower count really matters anymore. In fact, there's a lot of people who are saying, especially on Instagram creator accounts, saying that that's not the key anymore. Like having a niche audience and somebody who really wants to is invested in your story and in your work, that's who we should be like shooting for. If you already have that, then shoot for the stars and get those followers. So for reposts, likes, and watch time on your videos, that's great for engaging with existing followers. Nurture your most loyal fans are saves and comments. But as you can see, comments are on the very bottom. So I know we think that likes and comments are like the number one thing to do, but this is telling you right here, straight from the app itself, what is being prioritized. So then on the right hand side, how to support small businesses and creators on Instagram. So if you are a user, right, this is how you would be most helpful to a business or to a creator. And this is where our calls to action come in, right? If we know who our audience is, because we're going to decide that before we start the strategic plan, we want them to share, we want them to repost and to like. So for every post, you could have some form of call to action. Hey guys, make sure you share this to three of your friends. That could be in the caption. You could be physically saying that in the video. Reposts. Maybe you're seeing this happen already where in the caption someone is saying, hey, make sure you hit that repost button. Make sure you repost onto your timelines. And comments are actually the least helpful, believe it or not. I know. Mind blown. For me too. For me too. Okay. So when you know about all of this, right? And I just gave you one example, you can do the research for each one of the platforms and what it is that they prioritize. You can ask yourself, what do you want to do? Do you want to make just single posts? Do you want to do carousels? Do you want to do reels? Well, you got to look at the data to find out what's actually going to work for you. Then you're going to choose which one. You're going to choose which platform. You're going to choose what type of content. This clarity of what socializing you're going to do and what kind of media content means you'll have a deeper understanding of scary word algorithm prioritization so you know what to act with. This also helps you identify additional learning apps and equipment that you may want or need, or that you just might want to hire someone to do it for you. So, all of this, I am sure, sounds daunting, especially to someone who is new to social media or has been using social media in just one type of way. I am here to say that it is a job. It is a job the same way that you would do marketing for your business. That's what this is. It does take some time, but there is a way that we can condense all of our time together in a shorter amount of time to make sure that it fits for you. And sometimes you might just want to hire someone to do these tasks. And the person who would do that, you have to decide, are they making the content for you and posting for you? Are they managing your account? Because those are three completely separate things. So, making the content is one thing, writing the copy for it, editing it, all of those things is another. And then being able to manage post online, understand the data, the analytics that are coming in, and actually managing your account to talk to other people. And there are plenty of people who do that job, but just know that those are three separate jobs. So we're doing this alone, right? We're not hiring somebody right now. And or we're learning so that we know what to look for in a person that we want to find to hire. Here are some examples of the tools. So, for instance, on TikTok, and there's tons of tools. These are just like three small examples for you guys. On TikTok, keyword search taking over, period. So move over Google. Nearly half of Gen Z is using TikTok and Instagram for searching instead of Google. This means that if you want your content to get discovered, optimizing your posts with keywords is more important than ever. And now you're like, what does that mean? SEO is search engine optimization. That's basically what Google is. Keyword search means keywords that are going to be in your captions or on your videos or on your content itself. So, this is a very basic way of explaining this. I am a visual artist and I paint acrylic on canvas, and I want galleries to find me. Somewhere in my caption, I am using the words acrylic on canvas, visual artist, gallery in New York, and that is called search engine optimization. Now the algorithm, the app is reading this and sending it to those people who are looking for those things. And like I said, that's just a basic way of doing it. I have seen really smart campaigns that are using keywords in their captions and overlays on their video and or carousels. And that has changed over time because it used to be where they would tell us that that was not a good thing to do. Do not put text over your photos. So again, take all of this in, but keep doing the research because it changes constantly. Another example, TikTok is in its FaceTime era. So there's this trend on TikTok now that is somebody speaking to the phone, just talking to their audience as if they're talking to their friend. And this gives a really personalized experience for TikTok users, and they love that. This is also a really great way to sell. So, say that there are tickets that you want to sell to your performance, say that there is prints that you want to sell on your web store. Talk one on one with someone. It's also really important to make your audience feel like it's just them. So, as in one person. So, you be using the word you. Thank you for being here, as opposed to saying, thank everyone for being here. No, it's thank that person. So, talk as if it's a one on one conversation. The appeal, it forms deeper connections. And they just have an example here of a creator who makes their followers feel like they're catching up with a friend over a FaceTime call. Again, just one example. I know a lot of us do not want to be on camera, that is not a thing. And there are plenty of content creators who never go on camera and still are able to do this because you can have a one on one conversation with the phone facing, let's just say, again, I'm a visual artist, down on a piece that I'm working on and I'm just talking over it. That works too. And another example is for LinkedIn. While there's technically no right or wrong time to post on LinkedIn, here are a couple of key considerations to make: where your audience is located and in what time zone. Most LinkedIn users scroll during the workday, and I'm going to give you a little insider information. Almost every app. Most of the users are on during the work day. From what I have seen on the accounts that I manage and I help manage for other people, anywhere from 3 to 4 p.m. is when most people are on their phones scrolling through apps. That's all I'm going to say. So it's worth it for you to put your content out during the week rather than the weekends. But again, it all depends on your specific audience, and you would know that when you look at your insights. So, Later Media is a media team that I absolutely love to follow. I subscribe to their newsletters, and they give you all the in depth changes that are happening over all of the apps and giving you updates from time to time. And here, Later Media's team found out that the LinkedIn sweet spots are around 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. So, these are more early bird type of people still at work. Pro tip: automate, automate, automate. And so there are specific tools that you can use that will help you gather all of your content and schedule them out. And that's what they're saying here. You can use a tool to schedule out all of your LinkedIn posts. So think like a business. That's how we're talking about it. We're talking about our art, our creativity as a business. You want to grow your audience while staying loyal to your current audience. So, family and friends cannot be your way to share and grow. I hear and see all the time, telling family members, make sure you're sharing my content, and telling personal friends, hey, can you make sure you leave a comment on this, that, and the third so I can, grow my algorithm? Well, in fact, that's not what you're doing. In order for you to grow, you want to gain a new reach, a new audience. If your goal isn't to grow but to gather your community, then you need to talk to only those people there. Now if your family and your friends are the audience that you're trying to reach, by all means. But we shouldn't be using social media anymore as a business in a personal way. Authentic, yes, absolutely. And you can tell some personal stories on there. But to rely on family and friends as your followers or as the people who are doing the most engagement, we have to stop that right now. You want other people to see your content and grow. So, Who do you want to reach? Who's looking for you? But they haven't found you yet. Who do you want to look for you? Is it other artists in your field? Is it other people that are in your genre? Is it potential clients? That's something that you have to decide, and you are making your content based on that. It is like learning a new program, 100% absolutely. So let's just say you have to learn how to use Adobe and you have to learn the entire Adobe suite. This is the same thing. I hate to tell you, if you want to use TikTok and Instagram and LinkedIn, you need to do your research and find out how to use these apps. There's a very specific way to use each and every one of them. Yes, you'd have to learn a graphic design suite to use its potential. That's my example. To reach a broader audience, you have to know the tools within or adjacent to the platforms that you will work with. And we're going to go over that here shortly as well. What does that mean? Social media can feel like a job. It totally can. All of this probably sounds like a job to you right now. But I promise you that there are tools to make it easier on you. There really are. So, for instance, on Facebook and Instagram, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Threads are all owned by Meta. If you haven't heard that word yet, Meta owns all four of these apps, which is why you can post within these apps simultaneously. So there's Meta Business Suite. Meta Business Suite is a lot to learn, but you probably only have to learn in the beginning the scheduling option, what content planners you have, and your insights and your data. So you think of Meta Business Suite as your dashboard to see all things. If your Facebook and your Instagram account are connected, you'll be able to see an overall of both of those and or separate it. You'll be able to post and schedule out at the exact same time. So you're not going on your phone and posting on Instagram and then going into Facebook and posting. Those days are long over, you guys. And you can schedule out weeks ahead of time. You can post up to a month ahead. So in reality, if you are bundling all of your content and making it in your one business day that you call your content creation day, you can do it all in one day, schedule it all the same day or the next day, and let all of your posts ride for the rest of the month. You don't have to worry about it again. Later Media also has a scheduling option for most of the popular platforms. I mentioned Later earlier. That's one of my big tips and tricks that you guys can use. Definitely subscribe to that newsletter. And then they have a subscription service that you can use to do scheduling. A lot of these are subscription service based, but Facebook and Instagram, your Meta Business Suite, is free. So it's a free tool. It's been there for years. Definitely utilize it. YouTube also has a scheduler, and they can also do delayed release for non subscribers. So, again, I just want to reiterate you have to go into each one of these platforms, one of these apps, and then do your research and see, do they have a third party app that can help you post, or is there one within the entire app platform to use, as in Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and WhatsApp? And part two of social media, think like a business. I hope you are still with me here. I know it's a lot to take in. So, I'm going to tell you what you've been doing because I have a feeling I know if you're here. And then, after your research, what you could be doing. So, on YouTube, you've been manically editing a video as soon as you take it, and then you're posting it the same day. So, editing in bulk and scheduling is what you could be doing, and creating multiple forms of content from the same footage. So, although long form does really work on YouTube, what if you took clips from your long YouTube video, edited them, and shoot them over to your Instagram account because Instagram prioritizes short reels. So now you only took one piece of content. You didn't have to take a whole bunch of different slivers of content to place all over your different apps. So that's a really good thing to do if you are taking bigger chunks of content, even if it's single posts like carousel posts. If you're doing single posts, you can use those in multiple places and maybe even use pieces of those posts for a future post. On Instagram, you're making a post in real time. You're walking around, you went somewhere, you took a picture of it, and then you're posting it first thing in the morning. That's really good for your stories. That's a really good place to do things like that. Your stories should definitely be hey, I was just here at this place and I'm posting, little things. Hey, I'm in the process of making something, building something. I'm at rehearsals for the play that's going to come out in a couple of weeks. Let me show you in the stories the behind the scenes of rehearsal. That's where real time works. But to be posting onto your feed, do not give yourself that headache. You could be making bulks of content one day out of the month and scheduling it out for the rest of the month. As someone who manages social media accounts and also has their own social media account, I'm guilty. I am guilty. Okay, we're not always going to do great and be able to schedule these things out. Heard. If there's a night where you have free time and you want to post, you go ahead and do that. Make sure it's at the time that your insights and your data tells you is good to post, right? Because if I post at 8 p.m., because I have time at 8 p.m., but my Instagram has told me at 3 p.m. is when most of my followers are online. Guess what? That post probably isn't going to do that great. And I highly doubt anybody's going to see it that night. They probably won't even see it till tomorrow at 2 p.m. So you definitely shouldn't post anything tomorrow because now you have two posts overlapping, coinciding with each other. You want to give breathing room within those posts. But that is specifically for Instagram, Facebook. If you're on TikTok, you're going to want to schedule 3 a day out if you have a new account. And then Blue Sky, Threads, posting at random times of the day. Now, why would you do that? If you have looked at your data and your insights and you see when your audience is online the most, that's when you need to do this posting. Also, using visual hashtags. Hashtags only work on certain social media applications. I'll tell you right now because I see it all the time. Instagram does not care about hashtags, you guys. It doesn't care about hashtags. You do not need to use hashtags unless you already have a very pop-in account and you have tons of followers and a very niche thing that you do. You could use two or three. That'll work. Other than that, it really doesn't do anything. And how do we know that? Because the CEO of Instagram said so. Also, hashtags were deprioritized like years ago. But on Blue Sky and on Threads, that is where it's at. You want to find that genre and that niche. When you click on that hashtag, it's going to put you in that thread of people and you'll be able to talk to them and reach a very specific group of people. That's where you'll be able to be with them in streams and all types of things. So again, know where certain tools are being utilized in which apps. Okie dokie. So play with your strategic plan. There goes that word. So you've already thought about your why. Okay. Let's zoom ahead a couple of months. You've already picked the kind of content that you're making. You know where you're posting it at, what apps you are using. You've looked at all the tools to teach you who you are reaching, your insights, your data, and when you are reaching them. So you begin bulk strategies rather than daily ones. You're taking your content maybe over a period of time. Let's just say um, you're working on your play that's going to come out in a couple of weeks. Well, you've been taking content the entire time, but you're not going to do anything with it yet. You're going to wait until your content making day, and then you're going to start editing those things and you're going to start scheduling those out. That's what that means by bulk strategies. You're thinking ahead of time of your essentially your marketing campaign, how you want people to get to that performance. So it is time to ask, is your initial plan working? Because again, these things change all the time. It's working if your intended audience is growing or if they're interacting more mostly through DMs, private messages, direct messages. That is how you know that people are interacting more. If they're leaving comments, we just saw in that graph earlier that comments aren't really the way. Do you want to talk back to them? Absolutely. Speak to all of your comments, reply to all of your comments, and like all of them. That is how you keep your niche audience. They personally feel like you are talking to them, but that isn't going to grow your audience. So, you see what I'm saying? There is a strategic plan for each one of the things, goals that you have. And if it's not working, if everything is the same, that means you have the same amount of followers, you have the same amount of interaction rates, etc. People aren't reposting your things, they're not commenting on it. That's how we know it's not working, and you got to switch it up. But you have to give it some time. I like to say around 3 to 4 weeks. So maybe like a month, you want to give it some time. And here's where you play with your plan. Let's assume it's just not working, right? After the month, you're not seeing more engagement, you're not seeing more followers, no one's DMing you, or you've decided to alter your audience. You're getting a lot more followers and you're getting a lot more direct messages, but it is not from the people that you thought you were going to get it from. Tip A is the more defined that your niche is, the more detailed you can get about specific things that your audience is looking for through keywords. So, what is your niche that vary the thing that you do? So, I'll just use myself as an example because it is in my bio as well. I am a visual artist that focuses on Puerto Rican and Latine storytelling, and I am a curator and I am a muralist and I am a community organizer. All those things that are in my bio are key words. So other people who are either in those same fields or looking for people in those fields, that is what's prioritized for my audience. So know your niche. What are the very specific details about you that sets you apart from another account? Tip B, revisit where your audience actually lives, which platforms to prioritize, and have they shifted? So let's say that I'm a writer and I am on threads and I'm talking to writers, I'm talking to writers, and all of a sudden things are shifting on threads, right? Maybe there's some cultural thing that's happening out in the world, and now I'm not seeing the writers, and I don't know where they went. I'm talking to actors now all of a sudden. You need to find out where those people went. Did they go to another platform? Did they go to Blue Sky instead? Did they end up on LinkedIn? Always be looking for where your audience is, whoever it is that you are engaging with. They might have switched platforms. So again, research, research. Third tip, are you being consistent? I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you right now. Your plan allows for a particular type of dedication of time and energy. It does. I know. I know you don't want to spend your time doing this, or maybe you love spending your time doing this, like I do. But are you staying true to it? Are you staying true to your plan? Did you make a plan and say, okay, I'm going to post 9 things a month? I'm going to do 3 things a week. I'm going to schedule it on this day. And I'm going to make it be about the new project that I'm working on. Let's say it's a community project. And my first post is to talk about it. My second one is a flyer to say where it's going to be. My third one is a behind the scenes. Write it down if that helps you. Write it out in your content planner. Again, Meta Business Suite is really good for that, and so is Later Media. And there are a whole bunch of other. Hootsuite is one of them. There are a bunch of different scheduling apps that can help you kind of figure out what you need to do. And now that you have what all of your content is going to be for the whole month, have you scheduled it out in that way? And let's just say you didn't have time necessarily to schedule it out. That's okay. Maybe there is one of those you can do in the same day. Maybe the day that you are practicing for one of your singing performances or you're having a concert with your band, you're able to get content that day. And if you're really good at it, you find a template online that you can use, drop those videos in, make a video really quickly, and you end up posting it at the exact time that you know your followers are going to be online. That's fine. But you're staying true to your strategic plan. See where we're going with this? Okay. Who's on and popping right now? We're going to look at some accounts who have a plan and is reaching their intended audience. And then I'll kind of go through, well, how are they doing this? And there's tons and tons and tons and tons of accounts out there, you guys. These are three random accounts that I have seen and chosen. No real rhyme or reason other than I wanted to give like three different examples of genres of art. So Detour 303 has 109,000 followers, and he does murals and he does public art installations. So, how do we know that he's doing a good job other than this follower account? Well, I see at the top of his page, there are three pinned things. This is his Instagram page. For the sake of the fact that artists use mostly Instagram as a platform right now, currently, we have three Instagram examples. So you can pin your post at the top of your page, which is great because if someone is interested in you, let's say they come across your feed and they go to your profile, they want to see something right away. At the very top, you have three pinned posts. And what did these posts tell me about Detour 303? Well, I see a public art installation immediately. Then I see basically like a headshot, right? There's a bio picture there, it's a video, and they have a big roller in their hand. Assumption is they paint. They probably do murals with a big roller. And then there's an actual mural and him on a lift doing a mural. So I already know without looking in the bio and just seeing those three pieces of content that this is who this person is. And then further on in their feed, you see this one thing that I love is called Art Tip Tuesday. So this is one of a part of his strategic plan. Every Tuesday, he drops an art tip. And that doesn't mean that on Tuesday he is recording and posting his art tip. Trust me and believe he did this a long time ago and probably did all of his art tip Tuesdays for the entire month in one day. And sometimes you can tell because you will see people either wearing the same clothing or being in the same location. Recycled content is a thing. You want new people to see you all the time. So Detour 303 does a really good job at this. Lemon Anderson, 17.9K followers. Lemon Anderson is a poet, a writer, and a spoken word performer. So, how on earth could a poet and a writer do really well on Instagram, which is a photo, video, visual based app? Well, he's writing things down on little sheets of paper. Right at the top, we see a napkin that he's written on, takes a photo of it and puts it up. Sometimes they're just random paper that's out there. They're pieces of bigger poems. Maybe it's something that he just thought about day of, but that's a very shareable piece of content. Everyone will repost that, let's say to their stories or to their actual feed because they find something in them that really connects with one of his poems or his quotes. And then on there he also has some personal photos of the family. Now we're engaged in who he is, and his personal story. There's also an article that's about him. The cover of the article is on there, and then we also have some video content. So this is a really good example of a writer using all different types of posts to engage with their followers. And then we have Las Amigas, and they are musicians. They have 876,000 followers. And naturally, if you look at this feed, they're all videos. And that makes sense that they would all be videos because they're musicians. We need to hear them. We need to hear the music. We need to be able to hear them sing, whatever it is that they do. And these videos are all different types of videos too. So you can tell just from the covers of these videos. Covers are very important on social media too. You can tell from the covers that some of these are music videos. Some of these are just them hanging out in a random location while they're on tour, while they're traveling, while they're in the middle, in between concerts. Some of them are of the individual performers themselves and highlighting what they do in the band. So this is also a really good way to see that there's content that's, a music video, highly produced, really nice, and then also just someone with a phone recording them while they're outside of their hotel one day. And I really love that type of storytelling in video specifically. All righty, we're getting down to it. So, we have some bonus things. These are just random important things that I feel like you could know. Make sure that your accounts, regardless of the platform, are public, not private. I think sometimes people don't even realize that they have private accounts. And you're probably asking yourself, but why does it have to be public? I don't want all of my stuff out there. Well, then you probably don't want to use social media as a business tool. See, so we have to have it public in order for people to reshare your posts. There's a lot of things that you end up putting walls against when you are private. And that's not to say that you cannot utilize a private account, but you do have to be very, very active in engaging with your followers. And that would mostly be through DMs. So you're going to have to do a lot of talking and a lot of chit chatting if you have a private account. But again, people will not be able to share your posts. They're just going to have to find you through external sources. If you are using Facebook, Instagram, Threads, or LinkedIn, have a business or creator or verified account, or all three. So, for instance, on Instagram, you can have all three of these. And this is different from just having a regular profile. I suggest to look up how to do that. It can be a very intricate process. I've had to do this for accounts before, and changing them can be a difficult and daunting task. But then that's what you have YouTube for, to show you how to do this on another platform. That's just one of the ways that you could learn. You can also learn through the app itself, but make sure that you are linking the accounts that you can link. So, for instance, all Meta accounts you can link to one another. So, I have a business profile on Facebook, and it is linked to my creator account on Instagram, which is linked to my creator account on Threads. So now I can share content between Instagram and Threads. And when I post on Instagram, it automatically posts to my Facebook. And again, there's different ways that you can do this. On LinkedIn, there's a verification on LinkedIn, and verification is that little check mark. Remember when you had to have like 100,000 followers to have this blue check next to your name? Well, those days are gone. It's very pay for play now. But if you have this in your business plan to be able to pay for subscriptions on these apps, I highly suggest you do it. These apps will prioritize you just based on that check mark alone, but you do have to pay for those type of things. I will say, when you have a verified account, I believe LinkedIn's is free. That may have changed. But for the other ones, if you're paying for them, you do get access to customer service. So one thing that a lot of people don't realize is, let's just say you're going haywire on your account, someone hacked it, what have you. It is nearly impossible, and all creators say this, and also the owners of the apps, the CEOs of the apps have said this. It's very hard to get a hold of customer service. It's literally almost impossible to do, and I know this from experience. So in order to get the verification, or you pay for it, you're also paying for customer service, which is nice. For every platform, you should make a different plan. So, platforms give you access to know when to act based on your insights. This is true. We talked about this already extensively. Make sure you're looking at your insights for each one of your platforms. For instance, last week, Instagram just implemented a new feature where you can see where your highest views are in your reel, in your video, in your short form video. And so you can see when people drop off. It might be after 3 seconds, it might be after 5 seconds, but you know what it is that got them to that point, and you can start making content. If someone watched the entire video, then you know to repeat that process, and you're like, oh, these are the type of videos that my audience wants to see. You can also see where in a carousel, which is a series of several posts, you can see where people have double tapped. So let's say they didn't double tap on the first photo or the second photo, but that third photo got 50 taps. Now you know that third photo is probably what people want to see. And they might not have even gotten all the way to the end. So you can now see the views very specifically on where people are engaging with your content. Keep up with trends and new tools. I've been saying this the entire time. Research, research, research. The same way you're researching about new tools on how to create your work, you're going to have to research new tools on how to market your work. So I have talked about Later Media already, and other platform-based creator pages. So specifically, every platform has their own official creator page. On Instagram, there's one called Creators. Instagram owns that account. And so through that account, they are telling you how to use the app. Same thing goes for LinkedIn. LinkedIn pays creators to talk about how to post on LinkedIn. Follow those people or do your research and see how it is that they are utilizing the app. And same goes for Facebook. There are Facebook groups that are specifically geared towards creators to help you learn how to use them. I used to be in one of those groups. Meta actually invited me to be in one of the Facebook groups, and it was for Facebook and for Instagram. Unfortunately, that group got dismantled, but I learned so much while being in that creator group and learning from other creators. A reminder, your apps are reading everything you do on your phone. I know you hate it, but it's just true. So, for instance, I'll just give one very small example. If you are posting on Instagram and you can hear the videos and you're posting to your stories and talking, that means your microphone is on and your camera is on. And so while you have Instagram open, they're hearing and watching everything that you're doing. And by they, I just mean the computers that are behind the scenes building all of these algorithms. So be very attentive to what it is you're doing on your phone, specifically inside of the app or while you have the app open. Um, let's just say that you are a poet and you, from your poet account, you are DMing your mom cat videos. You're not using your account as a business. You're DMing from cat videos. And guess what? Your algorithm feed, your search feed is going to show you more cat videos. And cat people are going to show up. And maybe you want the cat people to read your poetry. And that's perfectly okay too. But that's how this works. Anything that you engage in, anything that you double tap, anything that you share, anything that you send in a DM to one of your friends or to your mom or whomever, your phone, your app actually is reading all of that information and it's building your own profile and affecting your algorithm. So if you're trying to show your poems and the new book that you have coming out, you better only be engaging with people who love poems and read books. And number 6, you have to have a plan not to get burned out. I really want to stress this. Do not burn yourself out. It's very easy to do that. I have been a victim of burnout before, thinking I had to do everything in real time, but now there are so many tools where you don't have to do this. And when you start out, you shouldn't be posting every day in real time. That's a really hard thing to do. Again, unless you're using something like Stories, which is a very specific tool within Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Um, TikTok has it as well. Unless you're doing that and you're doing minimum 10 a day because you want to get the algorithm going in your stories too, you shouldn't be posting every day in real time. Really think about this strategic plan that you have and use that. Okay. What is your reason for more visibility? This is the question that we asked at the beginning. What is your why? Why did you come here today? Why are you watching the stream? What did you want to learn? This is your homework. So before you do anything else after this workshop, you will write down your goal for social media in one sentence. And make sure to include your reason for organizing the social media content part of your artist life. I hope today helped you, and I hope that it was shining some light today on social media. I hope it did not discourage you. I know that it sounds like a lot, but trust me, when you learn how to use it and use the tools available to you, it can be so much fun. And especially when you start to see your strategic plan working, it's one of the best things ever.
All right, Ketsy, we have a few questions out
Sure.
here. So we're going to start with question one. Do apps still prioritize native posts?
Native posts. I'm not sure what you mean by native posts, but I'm thinking what you're saying is like like when you post it, does it prioritize it right then and there? And if you could write in the chat specifically what you mean. But if that's what you're talking about, so there are options on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads for sure. You will see your feed in two different ways. So on a lot of these apps, you have the option of looking at your feed either by the algorithm style or by the people that you follow. And here's the difference. The people that you follow are only your followers, right? So when you click on that version, that is where you are going to see things posted in real time, in the real order that they were posted in. So that's what, that's what social media used to be. Someone posts something and then you see it in the order. And as you scroll up, you could see what people were posting all day. And so those are still options. They're options on apps, but you literally have to go over and click it every single time you are in your feed. But you can tell your followers to do that. Prioritizing posts made in the app over schedulers. Oh, got it. So that is different. Do apps prioritize? They absolutely do. So here's the deal. Yes, I'm telling you to use the schedulers because you want to make a lot of content. But do the apps prioritize making the post in the app itself? Yes, that's really all there is to it. They absolutely do. There is a way in Instagram specifically, the app itself, where you can schedule out posts up to I think a week out. And so if that's the option that you want to use, absolutely. If you have the time and the energy and the effort to do that, 1,000% you should be doing that. I will say though, that's not how most creators do their content, just because it is so time consuming and you do get burnout. But if you have the time to do it or you're hiring someone to do it, that is a really good way to do it. Also, Instagram and TikTok have very specific editing apps. Instagram has an app called Ets, and TikTok has an app called CapCut. I'm sure you've heard of that one. They prioritize posts that are edited with those two apps. So I hope that helps as well. Once and inside edits, you can post directly from edits to Instagram, and that is not considered a third party scheduler. The same thing goes with TikTok and CapCut. They're prioritized, and you don't necessarily, it doesn't count as a scheduler, but you can only do it for very specific amount of time ahead of time. Whereas third party schedulers, i.e., Meta Business Suite, later media, it it's going to take a longer time.
We have another question about it not being a good idea to cross post simultaneously, but post separately.
I like all of these questions. So there's, I guess there's a good answer, overall answer to this. Is it not a good idea to cross post simultaneously? Technically, the answer is yes. Only because, let's say I have my Facebook and my Instagram linked together. And on Facebook, my followers really like to see single posts, just text and copy only. But on Instagram, they love my reels. Well, if I schedule it and I cross post it, now I'm showing reels on Facebook when my Facebook people really don't want to see that, but my Instagram people really do. Again, it's just a saving time. A part of my strategic plan is to do that because really on Facebook, I just need it to be linked to my account so I can utilize all the tools that it has. But I know I'm not really getting a following on Facebook. So to me personally, it doesn't matter. Should you be doing them separately if you want to gain followers on each one? Yes, you can still do that within scheduling. It will ask you, do you want this to just post to Facebook or just post to Instagram? And you can do it that way. Again, if you have the time and the energy to physically go into the app and do them separately, you can. But I suggest only doing that if you know you can stick to your strategic plan. Hope that helps.
And another one. First, thank you, Ketsy. And then also, do you have a list of post ideas that would be good to cycle through? And then some examples there with like behind the scenes, about me, in the at the moment bio,
Yeah, I
upcoming
mean, you
events.
got it already. Those are three really good examples of like pillars that you can use for your strategic plan. Here's the thing, I would give different advice to different people. So I feel like I would have to see your account specifically to give you like a good list of post ideas. But you can follow, depending on the social media platform, follow those creator accounts that are owned by that app, and they share these ideas all the time. So, for instance, I utilize Instagram mostly, and on Instagram, the creators account are always giving you ideas. I mean, they say literally in their post, save this and use it as a template next time. And then they also have creators that are specifically used to tell you an entire strategic plan that you could possibly use. So it's out there. There's so many, and then you probably want to use one that would work best for you. But those right there, those examples are really great.
Well, right now, Ketsy, our stream does not have any more questions. We put a chat out to ask for
Okay.
some more. So if you want to just kind of wrap it up and say your final words, we appreciate and honor your time tonight and talking through with all of the artists about social media, and take it away.
Awesome. Well, I just want to thank you guys again for being here. We'll be able, Creative Pinellas will be able to save this presentation in some way, and hopefully you'll be able to either see it on the website next week, or we'll have it as a tool on the website in the future. Be sure to be looking out for that. Subscribe to our newsletters where we give you all of those types of information as well. I hope that there is something in here that kind of sparked your brain and gave you some ideas to kind of think differently about how to use social media. And hopefully, you will spread the word to other creatives and artists that you love social media because you know how to use it now. Thank you so much, you guys. Goodbye. Thank you.